we are doing a deep dive analysis. I don't really know what to call this. A Vampire Academy. We're on chapter 8 of this. So, not very far into it. So basically this chapter is like two parts to it. We have the pre-fight and then the fight. So we're going to start off with the pre-fight. So if you don't remember, an animal was harmed and left on Lisa's bed, right? Um, and there are rumors going around about um, Rose potentially being the reason why the animal was harmed. It's not true, but that's the vile rumor that is going around. So how we start this off is we have Mason coming up to Rose, and he's like, "Hey, is Lisa okay?" And she's like, Rose is like, just hanging in there, I guess." The important thing about this conversation is this is when Mason says to Rose that he does not think that Mia and her friends did it. Because Mia and her friends don't see their hands dirty, and that's why he thinks Mia didn't do it. And so this is kind of like in Rose's mind being like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Mia doesn't really do anything. Why would she hold the animal? So, what conflict? I'm so glad you asked. It's between so many people here, and it's in one of the classes. They're actually in class. We love it when we see a book series actually, or like a series involving like a school, have the characters actually attend class, because that's what's happening here. So, Mia, I think Aaron, I think Jesse. Jesse's in this class. I'm not sure if Mason's in this class. I think Natalie's in this class. I'm not quite sure. Rose, Lisa, Christian are. These are the adults. So they were in fifth period. Yes, fifth period. And the teacher was basically talking about wolves and basically how they act. Mia decides to make a comment being like, oh, do foxes have the same instincts? Or like something inappropriate like that. Reason why is because a fox was what animal was injured and left at Mia's, or at Lisa's bed on her pillow. The teacher is just like, wait, like, that's not appropriate to ask you because she definitely knows why Mia is asking. So that's how it starts. It starts because of Mia. So this is when we have a character who I do not like. I don't know. He finally comes in. Where is he? Ralph. This guy named Ralph. He starts basically asking Lisa if the rumors are true. Not in a good way because he's being really mean about it. Rose basically tells Ralph to stop it. Ralph then starts attacking Rose and makes like horrible comments to Rose. So once he does that, Ralph all of a sudden like flames are surrounding him. And I want to make that clear. The flames are around him, not on him. Ralph is not hurt by the fire. This is very shocking because it's like, wait, one, the flames aren't hurting them. Two, why is fire around him all of a sudden? And three, like, kind of who did this? Well, they know who did it. Three main reasons why it's so shocking. One, the area around him was set on fire. And then but he was not injured. With the flames so close, he was not injured. Offensive magic does not really get used. It's seen as like a bad thing to use magic in an offensive way. Because they think that the magic should not be used to harm people, that it should be basically to help the off, only for the off. And the last reason why it was so shocking is because who could have done this fire magic? Because there was only 3 fire users in. I put it on already. There's only 3 fire users in the class. So we have Ralph is a fire user. He didn't set the area around him on file. And then we have Ralph's father that did not put on here. His name is, what's his name? Jacob. Jacob didn't set him on file. That's Christian Ozera. Christian Ozera set him on file. This is shocking because Christian Ozera protecting or like doing something in defense of someone else is completely shocking to them. And now some might argue, yes, he did it because he has a crush on Lisa. I argue that he did it because he wants to protect both Lisa and Rose. I think that he has some unknown reason why he wants to protect Rose because of little books. But I think there is something about Rose that he wants to protect. Because it's very important here. Ralph was not set on file. The area around Ralph was not set on file until he was making horrible comments to Rose. When he was making horrible comments to Lisa, Christian didn't do anything. It was only when it started to happen to Rose. Now, yes, it can also be argued that Lisa was inherently involved in the argument and the insults that were being thrown at Rose. I think that later on in the books we will see more evidence that he did it because he wanted to protect Rose. I think that there is an unexplored romance option with Rose and Christian Ozera, but does not get developed because of who her love interest is in the books. Now, I can't remember if this is a hot take thinking that they should be together or not, so we'll see what happens, you know. Who do I think Lisa should be with? Honestly, I don't know. But my stance is, at least for the first few books, there was evidence that Christian and Rose would be a good match together. Now, we'll explore that in later books because it doesn't really show up here. My point is, I think that this is when we can start to see that Christian wants to protect Rose, not just Lisa. He will later say that he did it to protect Lisa, but I feel like his actions later on says otherwise. Because again, it was when Rose was being verbally assaulted or verbally attacked. How do we also know that it was Christian? Oh, because he was laughing a lot about it. So the teacher will send Christian to the headmistress's office because, you know, he set the area around Ralph on file. And I'm being very specific here. So after that, we have post-fight. I should have said it was post-fight as well. In which later on, Rose goes into the mind of Lisa, her friend, and sees that Lisa and Christian meet up in the attic of the church. And this is when Rose gets very upset. Maybe a little bit too upset. Maybe it's codependency. I don't know. Anyways. Codependency. But Rose is very upset that she realizes that Christian and Lisa have been spending a lot of time together. And that's the end of chapter 8. Now, my point here is I think that this is the first sign or the first signal that we can see about Christian and what he wants to do and how he wants to act. Because we know, and later on, I won't spoil it, that Rose and Christian are actually more similar than we first think that they are. And so I think this is the first stepping stone in realizing that they actually have some sort of relationship. That for some reason they hate each other. And it's because they both think that each other is like not mentally stable. Which they're both correct, though neither of them are mentally stable. My point is also I don't think that Dimitri should have been an option. But we'll get there. But I hope that you've enjoyed the video. This has been chapter 8 of my deep dive analysis, recap, I don't really know, of Vampire Academy. The reason why I'm cutting that off here is because my points get expanded later on. And so that's when I'll bring them up again because I don't want to accidentally spoil what's going to happen. But those who know, know. I'll leave it there. Have a good night.